Hey, 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 you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have been here before, I don't know, did you miss me? Because I miss you, definitely. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today we are going to do a Secrets of Divine Masculine video. And I've got Barbara Barbie here with me, so she's going to hold on to those cards for a moment while I shuffle these ones. I'm going to use the Game of Thrones tarot today because I'm feeling like there's going to be a few little sneaky secrets. You know how there's a few little sneaky secrets with, within the Game of Thrones? Kind of feeling a little bit like that. And I feel like, wow, these are meant to fall out just for a moment because, see, Divine Masculine doesn't want me to tell you what he doesn't want you to know, which is a little bit naughty, isn't it? Because I'm delving into his secret space. And of course, the messages may or may not resonate for you, and you'll know by how you feel about them. So you've got to remember I'm channeling for the collective. So some might resonate and some might not resonate. But let me tell you about Barbara Barbie while I'm shuffling. Barbara Barbie is actually, now that wasn't an accident, that was the truth right there. So I'm going to keep those. Barbara Barbie is actually quite upset with Ken because Ken decided that he was going to go out with some friends and he didn't come home until 2 o'clock in the morning, and he had lipstick on his collar when he got home. So we've got a little bit of a dilemma here. Barbara Barbie is trying to remain calm. As you know, she's a unicorn believer. That's what it says on her shirt. She believes in unicorns. She believes in love stories. She believes in all of that stuff. But the 3D reality was bringing her a little bit too much nonsense. And so she's a little bit vulnerable, we should say, today. So she is going to be my helper because she's been through a little bit today. And okay, maybe that deck will sit like that. That will be better. So let's just try and not lose our minds today. All right, let's try and not lose our minds today because we want to stay as balanced as we possibly can. And that means lowering the stress levels. That means making sure we meditate or pray, going out into nature, getting some vitamin D, eating healthily, doing all of those things which connect into source and help us feel better. Wow. Okay. I'm just guided to do this reading in a really weird way today. The cards are sort of speaking to me. Not literally. I was actually talking to someone recently about, in Australia, there was this show called Mr. Squiggle. And on this show, Mr. Squiggle has a pencil nose. And he draws on the blackboard. And the blackboard has a face on it. It's a kid's show, an old kid's show from years ago. And the blackboard would say, "Hurry up, hurry up." And so I kind of feel like if I could draw a face on my crystal here, it would be saying, "Hurry up." Because he wants to go, I don't know, what do you want to do? What do crystals do when no one's looking? That's a good question. That's a really philosophical question, isn't it? What do crystals do when no one's looking? Well, we're here to find out what the Divine Masculine does when no one's looking. So let's begin with the bottom of the decks here. Wow. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Most of it should resonate in some kind of way. I'll try and word it as I'm channeling. So what we've got here is this guilt and shame and embarrassment about what he's done in the past. I wasn't always who you think I was, who you think I might be now, right? So we've got some skeletons in the closet. Is that what we would say? That's what Barbara Barbie's saying. Some skeletons in the closet, which means it's a colloquialism for we've got some secrets. We've got some stuff that we may or may not want to tell you because we're a little bit guilty. We might be a little bit shameful. And back in the day when the stuff was being done, because this is a past energy, back in the day it was part of the ego's way of doing things. Okay, so this is really interesting. This is very interesting, Barbara Barbie. I don't know what accent that is. Could we do this reading in another accent? Could we maybe do it in a British accent for a little while? Let's see if we can. If anyone is from Britain or the UK, I'm apologising in advance. Let's just do the first card in a British accent just for fun. Alright, you guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see the first card that popped up out of nowhere. Let's have a look now. Wow, the Magician. The Magician. And what's the other card? Oh, we have the Three of Wands now. We have the Three of Wands with the Magician. And I'll just pop that out the road. Just popping that out the road. And I think I better go back to Australian because that really sucked. Okay, I won't do accents today. But the Magician is all about someone who is kind of perhaps could have been trying to manipulate, or not manipulate, that's the wrong word. Manipulation's the wrong word, really. But trying to do something with their future. And I want to use the word manifestation instead of manipulation. But I don't really think that the divine masculine actually knows what manifestation is necessarily. He might have some kind of idea. Maybe he watched, that really famous show called The Secret. Or maybe he read a few books on manifestation, how to bring things to you via law of attraction, etc. But I feel like he's waiting. I feel like whatever he thinks he's learned has kept him waiting a little bit. And this is because his belief in it isn't congruent. So that's interesting. Okay. Wow. So in the recent past, we've had a few sleepless nights. We've had this energy of my mind is driving me batshit crazy. This is kind of what's going on, right? In the past, my mind is driving me batshit crazy. Not quite sure, how I can get these sleeping patterns better. I get this feeling of, in the past, and it might not be the recent past. I feel like it's a past a little bit longer ago, perhaps 6 months or more. He wasn't taking care of his body. He wasn't taking care of his mind. He was kind of neglecting himself to the point of, staying up late, maybe eating too much takeaway, that kind of thing. For some divine masculines, they were using or overusing drugs or alcohol, perhaps. Kind of that no fucks given attitude. Okay, I'm channeling that. So, I'm not really a person that swears a lot, but no fucks given is what is coming through. Like, I didn't care about myself. So then we have this I thought I knew what I wanted in my life. I thought I knew what my wishes were. I thought I understood, you know, how I should speak with people, how I should behave in public situations. And I really thought that the things that I was doing, which are congruent with being in the ego, or to what society thinks we should have, he really thought that that was the bee's knees at the time. But we have this realization coming in the next card that he has a little think about his ego in the recent past. So it's like, I was kind of selfish in the past. I was kind of worrying about the things that maybe don't matter to me as much now as I'm opening up spiritually more and more. So there's been this transitioning of awakening as the divine feminine has also been awakening. And it was just 11:11 then as I looked at the timer. So that might be a confirmation for some of you that you are on a twin flame path, that you are on a twin flame journey. Some of you listening today are dealing with a false twin flame. And if you're not sure, you can contact me and I will help you via a reading or via some one-on-one coaching. So I just wanted to say that because I really feel that there's about 5 people listening today who are dealing with a false twin flame. And for those of you, FYI, who had not have a false twin flame, the people who do get a false twin flame go through a lot in the journey, because the false twin flame is very similar to the normal twin flame. Well, I call them normal. And the false twin flame is also quite narcissistic in many ways. So very, very, very cruel, very, very unkind. And yeah, so those of you who are going through a false twin flame journey, you can contact me via my details down below. I just wanted to put that out there. There's 5 people listening today, about 5 people listening today who are right now in a false twin flame connection. Okay? So if you feel like that's you, if you feel like someone is really treating you poorly, love bombing, then treating you poorly, love bombing, treating you poorly, love bombing, treating you poorly, and you feel like you're in this cycle that seems a little bit more toxic than you would expect, then just you can communicate with me via email and I'll try and help you out as much as I can. Getting back to the reading, so the divine masculines realized that things that he was doing in the past really no longer serving him. He does have some debts that he needs to pay, as in physical reality. And he kind of doesn't really necessarily want the divine feminine to know about this. I feel like these debts are from the past, maybe a credit card debt, maybe, he's borrowed money off of his parents or off of a friend or something. And he kind of feels a little bit ashamed because he wasn't dealing with money as well as he could have been. So his focus is to pay the debt off, is to be honourable with paying the debt off, but he is quite ashamed about having the debt in the first place. For some of them it can be up to about $30,000 is the number I'm getting, which is quite a lot of money. Wow. We then have this in the current time, in the current situation here of right now, as in the present moment, there's a movement towards a decision regarding love. And this movement towards a decision regarding love is actually going to be highly pivotal for right now. And what I want to say to those divine feminines who are in separation from their divine masculines right now, as in you haven't heard from them, not just because they've gone to work or because, it's a I don't know, it's a busy week for them, but the ones who haven't actually heard from them for a while, I want you to really focus on the self right now, because your divine masculine is making decisions regarding love right now. Now, many of them are with karmic partners, or if not with a karmic partner, they are, actively single online, kind of single and ready to mingle kind of thing. A little bit like Ken was the other night, right? With the lipstick on his collar. So what you do now, Divine Feminine, is really going to be helpful, because in some ways the Divine Masculine, the single Divine Masculine who is going out partying, doing those kind of non-spiritual behaviors, I guess we could say, he is starting to think and understand that this isn't something he wants to continue doing. For many of them, they're like, well, how am I going to find the love of my life on Tinder? Or how am I going to find the love of my life, online or in a nightclub? It's this really weird sensation of, I want to cut it off. I want to cut this behavior off. And so the Divine Feminine really needs to focus on cutting out any people, places, and situations right now that are no longer serving her. And this will translate into the Divine Masculine kind of getting that same epiphany. He's thinking about it a little bit. He's trying to make a decision to move forward without some of these things. But we have, in essence, this idea that maybe I could change. For those of them who are still doing toxic behaviors, maybe I could commit to something that's more loving, to something that's more permanent, to something that actually means something. Really interesting energy. So Barbara Barbie's telling me I need to get 6 more cards from here. And 7 from here. Barbara Barbie is highly intuitive today. Let's see what else comes up now. Wow. Many of the Divine Feminines are kind of pretending to be okay. Alright? Kind of pretending to be unconditionally loving. Kind of pretending to be, this is really interesting because it's this, I love my Divine Masculine unconditionally, but gee, he's a prick. Right. Wow, this is amazing. So this gee, he's a prick part of the equation is actually translating into the Divine Masculine not wanting to come forward, because the energy of he's a prick, right, which has its own frequency vibration, right? I promise you it does. The I'm a prick vibration, or he's a prick vibration, I should say, actually translates into into him feeling like he shouldn't come forward. All right, so remember that if you're having difficulty with loving your Divine Masculine, just ignore that for the moment and love yourself. All right, so we don't want to be sending out he's a prick into the universe. That's going to have me laughing for most of the day, because even though he may live across the water around the other side of the world, energy is energy is forever going out into the universe, and your Divine Masculine, because he is you, he's going to feel you. All right, so so if you're thinking he's a prick, he's gonna be not guided to speak with you, because his soul will be attracted to love and not to not to the judgment that Barbara Barbie has set forth down here with the cards she chose today. Alrighty, so let's get back to the divine masculine now. The divine masculine is thinking that the divine feminine is quite grounded at the moment, perhaps looking at social media in a few different ways. He might be spying secretively without you knowing. So if you're not getting any likes from him, or obvious stalking, he's doing it from a distance. So he might have multiple accounts, and he may be, if Larry Budweiser all of a sudden is liking your your photographs on Instagram or something like that, just be aware that this actually could be your divine masculine, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Right. Oh dear. Okay. So what else is, we're doing secrets of divine masculine today. So the next secret is that any karmic relationship that he has with a woman, so for those of them in a connection with a karmic, they're simply not resonating with them anymore. Okay, in the recent past, she's been a little bit snappy, a little bit grumpy, a little bit perhaps narcissistic, wanting what she wants when she wants it. And the divine masculine kind of sometimes, depending on what situation he's in, but sometimes feeling like a bit of an ATM or a bit of a, I want to say sex god. The reason I want to say sex god is because I feel like some of the karmics are trying to manipulate the divine masculine in the way of sex. So take it how it resonates for you, but some divine masculines are being a little bit controlled of late by their karmic partner. Now, the karmic partner, we don't want to always attach this negative connotation towards the karmic partner, because they can be really helpful to the divine masculine, because as he compares the karmic partner with the divine feminine, he realizes, and this might be a cousin or an auntie or a mother figure, but he realizes just how amazing the divine feminine is when he's got this comparison. So the karmic is kind of a blessing in disguise. Judgment here, and then some sadness. So there's this feeling of the divine masculine realizing that some of the things he's done in the past may be judged by God, may be judged by others. If other people knew what he'd been up to, maybe they wouldn't be speaking to him. For some of them, they have been involved with crime. For some of them, they have been involved with multiple sexual partners. For some of them, they have been involved in, partying, meaningless sex, drugs and rock and roll, let's just say. Okay, so let's just put it like that. Barbara Barbie we just need to close her ears. She's still upset with Ken about the lipstick on the collar, but Ken says that it was a lipstick party and everyone was wearing lipstick. So, it was kind of a little bit of an excuse. But so the divine masculine comes into this space of realizing that he has this knowledge within him. He has this vulnerability within him that also is very similar to the divine feminine in many ways. And so within this knowledge that he learns about himself, he also realizes that he has a lot of similarities with the feminine. So he can see that he isn't all, he's not always masculine. He's got a vulnerable side to him. And realizing that he's got a vulnerable side can sometimes make him be afraid and can sometimes also make him feel that he doesn't deserve the love from the divine feminine. Wow, we have another page here, Page of Spears, which is the same as the Page of Wands. Page of Spears in the Game of Thrones tarot is also the Page of Wands. So it's this vulnerability and this also a want to reach out in the physical world, but in a very small way. So you may hear from your divine masculine in the physical, tangible 3D world very soon. He wants to come across like this. He wants to come across as creative and passionate and knowing, you know, like he's got his head screwed on correctly, which is funny because Barbara Barbie says that her head is actually screwed on. I think it's possible to pull Barbara Barbie's head off. I mean, we won't do it, but it is. Look, see, she's saying my head is actually literally screwed on. Right, okay, so that was a metaphor for both Barbara Barbie and the divine masculine. I don't know why that's funny, but it really is to me. So we've got to he's got to screw his head on correctly to be able to come forward to you. He's a little bit nervous. That's the word I want to use. A little bit nervous. And he doesn't want you to know this next truth. Oh dear, what is it going to be? He doesn't want me to tell you. Should I tell you or shouldn't I? I'm going to have to ask Barbara Barbie. Sorry, I keep pulling her around by her head. I hope it doesn't hurt. But anyway, if your head comes off, I promise I'll put it back on. Okay, she's just going to whisper in my ear. Should we find out the next secret? She says no. She is not happy with Ken at all. She doesn't want to know. She's ignoring him. Okay, but the divine feminines want to know. So I think we'll go to the next secret. This next truth is something he does not want you to know. And it's going to be made up of 3 cards. Okay. Ready? Everyone clear their throats. Click off now if you don't want to know. Okay. And here it is. The devil. Okay. Codependency. We have codependency here. And this codependency is around the distorted feminine energy. Okay. And then we have the Emperor. So your divine masculine right now is going through this period of knowing that he can touch, taste, smell, feel women in a very naughty, very seductive, very lustful way. He also knows that he's capable of being the emperor, who is the king of all kings, and loving and giving and being this more divine self. So there's a shadow side to many of the divine masculines here, and many of them are, you know, partaking in watching pornography, are perhaps even have recently spoken with multiple women online, for some of them in person. And in the past, I get the energy that some of them have slept with prostitutes or, you know, women of the night, however you want to call that. And Barbara Barbie's head is just turning completely around now. She's just completely ignoring that. She doesn't want to hear about it. So the divine masculine's coming to realize in his own self that he has a devil side and an angel side. And let's just get a couple more cards to go on here. Wow. And that's the truth. That's the truth that maybe a lot of you didn't want to hear. For many of them, it's a past energy that they did in the past and they're ashamed of it. Look at that, the Five of Cups, they're ashamed of it. Wow. I wasn't expecting the secrets to be that disclosing today, but that is the truth. And for some of them who are religious, they feel like they've done wrong by their source, you know, by the creator, by their God, whoever that is for them, God, Allah, Buddha. And it brings them a lot of shame, okay? Yeah. There's this, maybe God will forgive me. Maybe I, there's this misunderstanding here, this incongruency here with their thought patterning. Even though they're trying to come into their heart space, they're holding on to the guilt. So they're not knowing how to let go of the guilt that they feel from the past. Let's just get 2 more cards here. All right, so then we have the Chariot. Wow. I'm heading in the right direction for your loving affection. It's this, do I even deserve to have someone love me in a beautiful bonding kind of way? Because that's what I need. You know, I need someone to nurture me. I need to be able to nurture someone. It's not all about sex anymore. It's not all about this having fun, multiple partners. And this is, of course, not true for every divine masculine. Every divine masculine did not sleep with a prostitute. So please don't, please don't, you know, believe that. That's not the truth. But many of them have slept around in the past with different people. Many of them have, or used to believe that, you know, in the spiritual sense, it's kind of like that Woodstock vibe, you know, like, yeah, we're all love, man. Let's just all, like, you know, get together and, you know, make love, you know. It's kind of like that kind of vibe. But now he's understanding that he's made for one person. One person he's made for. And this is ordained by God, or whoever he believes to be his source. So there's this connection with sex in a devilish kind of way. There's this connection that it can be dirty and raw and sexy. And then there's this understanding that to have a life partner or to be in union with someone on a long-term basis or on a long-time basis, it's a lot deeper. So the connection is more humble. The connection brings humility. The connection brings divinity with it and healing with it. So it's not all about wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of energy. It's not all about, you know, dipping the hot dog in the sauce, you know. It's now about who is going to love me until the end of time. Who is going to treat me with respect, you know, even when I don't feel well? Who is going to love me when I have a breakdown? Who would I be able to talk to and tell my deepest, darkest fears and secrets to? Who is going to accept me for who I am? Who is going to heal me when I need healing? What a profound change coming through. And then we get this excitement coming from the masculine. This excitement. You know, I only know one person who would forgive all of these things that I've done in my past. I only know one feminine energy that would accept me for who I am and know that I'm not the same as that anymore, or that I'm trying to be better. I'm striving to be better. I'm still in my ego sometimes, perhaps, but I want to come through as this King of Wands, as the King of Spears is the same as the King of Wands. So there's this passionate, sexy, forward movement with the underlying page energy. You know, I'm still scared and vulnerable to tell you my truth. I'm still scared and vulnerable, but if I was going to tell my truth to someone, the only person that wouldn't break my heart or wouldn't judge me is the divine feminine. Wow, what a strong card. That's a really strong card. Yeah, she's my home. Look at the next card. She's my home. She's my sister, my mother, my cousin, my brother, my everyone. You know what I mean? She can be all things to me. She can be my lover. She can be my teacher. She can be my mentor. She can listen to me. She can give me knowledge, and I could do all of those things for her as well. So this beautiful energy, he's starting to realize. So many divine feminines try and, you know, curse the karmic and curse the divine masculine when they're in separation. But the beauty of the separation is that he gets to see the duality here. And the duality theme has been going on for a really long time. You know, you don't know dark unless you've seen the light. You don't know up unless you've been down. You don't know sadness unless you've experienced happiness. You know, you can't know all of these things unless you go through them. So it's in the experience of being in the tangible physical world that the divine masculine gets to experience so many different things, and then he can have these epiphanies and these realizations. My divine feminine is solid for me. My divine feminine has been waiting for me. No matter what I've done, no matter who I've been with, no matter what trashy ideas or behaviors I've done, my divine feminine is solidly, stably waiting for me, and she's willing to wait for a really long time. No one else would do that for the masculine. No karmic would, I mean, maybe they would, but in a very third dimensional soulmate kind of way. And so this energy is really superb. It's sublime. He is seeing the divine feminine as being really stable. Wow. Imagining perhaps moving in together, having a home together, a wedding together. The wedding theme has been really big today. Really, really big. This morning when I got up, I was seeing weddings, unions, weddings everywhere. You know, as synchronicities. And then look at this. You know, you can't make that stuff up. This is the Two of Cups with the Four of Wands, the two twin flame cards. We've had the Two of Cups come up twice, which is literally unheard of in a reading. You know, I want to share my life with someone who wants to share their life with me. I don't want to just be with someone who's codependent because I've got money, or because I'm famous, or because I've, you know, I look sexy. I want to be with someone because they actually want me for me. They love my heart and my soul, you know, and my bad breath in the mornings. Okay, so the divine masculine has made many mistakes in his past. Some of them are still learning through these mistakes. And if you're in separation with your divine masculine, they are still comparing the duality of you to their own life now. And this is why it's so important for the divine feminine to take her confidence back, be self-confident, be self-loving, be congruent with who she is. She doesn't need to compare herself with any of the karmics because she's divine. Wow, oh wow. Now before I go, because it's breakfast time here in Australia, and if I don't have breakfast, I actually turn into a pigeon, and that's going to be really weird. So we better get some love messages kind of quickly, and then I can have my breakfast. Alrighty. The next song you hear is a message from me, he says. Where do you want to live, city or countryside? I love you. That's what his soul is saying right now. Where do you want to live? I feel as though I don't have enough to give you physically, like money. Many of these divine masculines paying off some debt, which they didn't want you to know about, but whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. Me and Barbara Barbie kind of outed the divine masculine today. That's okay. I love you to the moon and back. I would do anything to be with you. Remember that song? And I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I don't know what he won't do. He won't do something though. He loves you to the moon and back and would do anything to be with you. Wow. This one is kind of kinky for those of you who like a little bit of kink. All I want to do is massage your soft skin. And that Sheryl Crow song's coming. All I want to do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I want to do is have some fun. Until the sun comes up on the Santa Monica Boulevard. That might be, Santa Monica might be important for someone. The Santa Monica Boulevard. Do you think you might understand? Read that book close to you. Okay. I don't know. I'm also getting that song. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Remember that? On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to, what is it? Decided to make a dream come true or something. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair and golden starlight in your eyes of blue. That'll resonate for someone. I'm a big Carpenters fan, but sometimes, you know, what music I like and what I can actually sing are two different things. So I want to get one more lucky one. Lucky last soul message from the divine masculine today. Oh, woo. Okay, that's a big one. That'll resonate for about 33.333% of people today. I have been researching the twin flame journey. Oh dear. Oh dear, is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. Barbara Barbie is still ignoring me. And Ken. But it's alright. We'll bake her. We'll do some baking today, I think. We'll bake some Barbie baked goods. And we'll see what happens. We'll just turn her around so she can say goodbye. She's singing, I'll say goodbye to love. No one ever cared if I should live or die. Time and time again the chance of love has passed me by, and all I know of love is how to live without it. I just can't seem to find it. Another Carpenter song. Sorry, she's very pissed off with me for singing that song. Alrighty. Okay, have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening or morning, wherever you are in the whole wide world. I love you all so much. Don't forget to reach out for me. I've got so many packages. I've got so many things that you can utilize on your twin flame journey if you want to. Everything's now available in modules, so you can pay as you go. You can even speak to me on a phone call, and I'll try not to be batshit crazy. I'll be very serious when it comes to your twin flame journey, of course. And I've really actually been enjoying the conversations I'm having with divine masculine and feminine, actually. So if you want to book in, they are filling up quite fast each week. So make sure you do it as soon as you know. All of my information is in the description box below. I love you all so much. Mwah. Me and Barbara Barbie are sending you so much love and light from Australia, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye everyone. Bye.